And good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad that so many young people are here to talk about this very important topic because you are definitely part of the solution. So before I talk about the good news in this area, we heard enough bad news for today, let me tell you about Manpower. We are a 64-year-old staffing company. We connect employers and job seekers. Every year we put between 3 and 5 million people to work. We trained 11 million people. We operate in 82 countries, and we work with more than 400,000 employers. So I guess we know a little bit about work and jobs. What is the good news? We do a lot of research, obviously, in different labor markets to understand what are the trends and what employers are looking for. And what our annual survey of employers shows, the most recent one, is that although there is all this lack of jobs and unemployment and problems everywhere, 34% of employers say that they have difficulties finding talent for their open positions. Okay? Recently, one of the government leaders for a European country said that in their country, where the unemployment of youth is very high, there is an equal number of unemployed youth and companies. So if each company just took one young unemployed person on board, there would be no youth unemployment in that country. It's a large European country. Finally, if we look forward, what will happen in the world of work over the next 15 years, we know that the aging workforce in developed countries will cause severe talent gaps. They just don't have enough babies, and obviously there will be this huge gap. On the other side, the demand for trained and educated talent in Asia will definitely outstrip supply. Migration for work will increase and generate new dynamics. And finally, there will be new employment models which will emerge and emphasize flexible work arrangements. So based on all these trends, what we predict is that progressive companies, more than ever before, must have a youth and women development strategy. They need to have youth and women as a critical component of strategic talent management. Why is that not happening enough? The main reason is trust. The employers do not trust young people who do not have work experience. They see youth, even when they are educated, even when they have skills, as an unknown quantity, an untested material. And also, the young people, more and more, are losing the trust into the enterprise. So we have this vicious spiral down. And what can we do about this? We need to first look at what are the expectations in the marketplace. When you look at what employers require and what their requirements are, you see that it has nothing to do with what really young people expect in the job, in their first job, and what the educational institutions prepare them for. So there is a great misalignment of expectations. When we talk to employers, they talk now about these 4 C's. It used to be 3 R's, now it's 4 C's for skills. So it's communication, cooperation, critical decision-making, and creativity. They talk about cognitive and non-cognitive skills. They talk about language skills and thinking skills and technology skills and mathematics. And they also talk about the ability to learn fast, entrepreneurial spirit. They talk about citizenship. They talk about ability to adapt to various cultural situations and the autonomy and personal responsibility. So they talk about skills that are not taught in school, they're not assessed in your standardized testing, and practically the young people really don't prepare for that. I don't think even families prepare them or society prepares them for that. So when you look at employers want somebody who will hit the ground running, somebody who has knowledge that's absolutely applicable to practice and to everyday jobs and tasks. And young people expect to learn about their job and organization through coaching and training and mentoring. That's misaligned, right? That there is a problem there. When you look at companies expecting innovation, creativity, productivity, results, and young people expect challenge and interesting work and meaningful work, again, it's misaligned. Companies expect you to be flexible, to respond quickly, to move anywhere in the world, to work any type of hours. You want to have flexible work schedules, virtual type of arrangements. You want to balance your family and your work. And finally, companies want you to be motivated all the time and very enthusiastic, loyal to them. You want good work conditions and corporate responsibility to work for somebody who really does something good for the community. Tremendous misalignment of expectations. At the same time, we all turn to education and government and say, you are guilty, okay? You didn't prepare me, you don't have enough good policies, okay? And it will take years and years and years until government and educational institutions solve the problem. So we cannot be like that. We have to think of what can we do right now, obviously there are wonderful policies and examples of best practices around the world of what governments and educational institutions have done, but we as individuals, as job seekers, and also we as enterprises, as companies, we need to think what we can do today. Why? Because we are all responsible for our young people. The future is youth, and we need to help them, we need to absolutely invest in them, and we need to do it now, right away. So I'm not going to talk about partnerships and what different other stakeholders have to do. Let's concentrate on what a young person can do to do better in this world of opportunities and what the enterprise can do. So I have a list of 10 things for the young people. So first of all, you have to take control of your career. It's your career. Nobody owes you a job. You are accountable for it, so manage it, okay? The second thing is turn towards yourself first. Understand your strengths, understand who you are, understand what's important to you. Because then you can position, you can market those strengths and those qualities to a potential employer. So number 3 is you have to create a self-marketing plan, and you have to practice, practice, practice. You have to have a killer CV. You have to have excellent interview skills. You have to work all your networks, all possible ones. Next, you have to be very alert to the labor market trends. You have to be a detective and to understand and research target companies wherever they are, where you want to work. You have to research, you have to know them inside out, okay? You have to also be very, very cognizant of which markets have better opportunities for you. And you have to be flexible and open to move where the job is. It doesn't have to come to you. Next, you have to get work experience because that's the biggest barrier for that trust. Whether it's an internship, or it's a volunteering experience, or it's a well-selected temporary job, contract project, whether it's during your school or summer or with a family member, whatever you can do, build a portfolio of relevant work experience because that will make you much more relevant and marketable to an employer. You have to also make a very concerted effort to continue to build up your skills. So whether it's online courses, local community college, any other type of courses that you can take, continue learning. That will be a tremendous investment in yourself. And finally, do never give up. Never give up. Young people try. And then we saw even in that ILO video that they say, oh, I have been looking for a year and I stopped because there is no hope. No, there is definitely hope. There is a job for every person. Maybe it's not in your village. Maybe it's not the one that you wanted. Maybe it's not as ideal as you have dreamed about, but there is definitely a job for you. So keep looking. One example of programs that we have in this area is a workshop that we called Finding a Job is a Job. It's a curriculum that we give for free to different organizations. For example, Manpower has partnered with the Ministry of Youth and Sports in Serbia. That's where the unemployment of youth is also around 50%. And we trained their career coordinators in youth offices to work with young people and to teach them the job search skills. And we already see, it's only 1 year that this program is going, but we already see a number of young people from these training groups who have found jobs in the local marketplace. We have a similar one going on in Morocco. So that's in terms of what we as individuals can do. What the enterprise has to do. Well, it is obvious that we cannot expect the educational systems to produce exactly the people that we want in our positions. So we need, just like we have a research and development budget, we need to have a mentoring and apprenticeship budget line. We need to invest in training and development of young people, and this needs to become a mainstream, something that every single company does, not that there are some good companies who are doing it. We need also to expand the recruiting pool and work with a number of partnerships with organizations who support young people. And finally, we can redefine jobs in a way that there are tasks that are appropriate for entry-level workers with the mentoring of an older colleague or more experienced colleague. Mentoring in organization is probably the #1 thing that could change the investment that we make in our young people. So in this area, how Manpower works with a number of companies is we have devised a framework which is called Teachable Fit. So if you have a person with certain level of skills and competencies and attitudes, and you have a job which is described also in requirements for certain competencies, knowledge, skills, you compare those two and you see where the gap is. And the gap has to be teachable and important enough for the investment in training. So we try to consult with our companies and show them that that not every time they have to get an ideal candidate. They could get a very, very good potential candidate who, with some training, would fit that particular position. So we have invested in that research, and we're doing that, and it's proving in practice to be very valuable for those employers who cannot find people. So Manpower has a number of youth programs around the world. I invite you to visit our website and see some of those programs. In fact, this Friday, a representative of the World Bank is meeting with Manpower in Tunisia, where we are going to work together on a youth program, both for employment, entrepreneurship, and civic engagement of local youth. I want to tell you, however, about a very important initiative which we launched recently, and I hope World Bank will engage with this too. Under the auspices of World Economic Forum, 2 global agenda councils, 2 think tanks, one on youth unemployment and one on emerging multinationals, came together and launched a program called 10 Youth. 10 stands for train, employ, nurture, or mentor. So what we are doing is we are engaging multinationals all around the world, those companies who are growing and are progressive, and we are asking them to hire 10 young people in their cities today, train them for 3 or 6 months, mentor them for up to 2 years in a particular functional area, and then replicate the program in another city. So major corporations have already joined, and I hope that you will somehow get me to somebody in World Bank who will say that they will also engage the organization and lower that 46 years average for staff to a much lower number. So thank you very much, and good luck to you.